Hello everyone and welcome to Buzzin' with Barb Live. Tonight we have another class. It's All A Flutter virtual class. So welcome in. Again, my name is Barb Ryder. I'm coming to you from Ypsilanti, Michigan, and hoping that you will stay and see the fabulous projects I have for you. Hello Sue and welcome. Thanks for being here. I am just making sure, it looks like everything's coming through on my screen. Fabulous. Alright, just checking on my phone. There we go. Let me turn this down a little bit. Okay, hello Sue. I've got two Sues on here right now, yay. How is everybody doing? It is beautiful actually today. Here in Ypsilanti, Michigan. The smoke from Canada has cleared out some. It was really bad on, say, Thursday, I think. But it's cleared out. And it looks like hopefully we won't have any more of that stinky smell and the haze that we had. We have a class tonight, All A Flutter virtual class. This is a class that I will share 4 cards, and this can be yours free with a $50 order with me. Who else just jumped on? Let's see, I'm just looking at some of the comments here. Okay, Nancy, hi. I thought there was somebody else that jumped on. Very nice to have you. So if you are joining, let me know that you're here and where you're from. Sue Somerville says, hot and humid here and getting, what does it say? Getting for a ready for a tropical storm tomorrow or Tuesday. Oh no. We don't want you having those, Sue. I know Florida can have those, so yikes. All right, well, are you guys ready to do some projects? I hope that you will like what I've chosen, and I will, of course, if you're watching this on YouTube, I do upload these to my YouTube channel. That way you can go back and watch this and do the class yourself with your projects or product, your own product. If you place an order with me, like I said, $50 order, you get the kit for free. Don't forget that if you go to $75, you can choose to add that product of the month onto your order for $5, and it's a beautiful floral this month. Hi Maria, welcome. All right, let's go ahead and get started. I have 4 cards for you, and let's see here. I want to make sure I click the right thing. All right, there we go. Okay, so we are using the All A Flutter bundle. That is using these different butterflies. You've got some nice little sayings in here. Fluttering by to say hi. Friend, you are so appreciated. Thinking of you today. And of course, this is I think it's a $36 bundle with the punch that coordinates with the butterflies here. So, you like the floral stamp, Sue? I don't have mine yet. But once it gets here, I'll be playing with it, that's for sure. All right, I think on all the cards tonight, I am using all of the stamps. So let's go ahead and start with our first card. Now, these are mainly featuring the in colors, and you will see why as you see these cards, okay? And here is our first card that we'll be making. This is the first card. And let's grab all the parts and pieces. You get envelopes with your kits. And so let me see here. I think I have this is what I need here. I need this stamp, and we'll need that stamp. Okay, that's the 2 stamps that we need. All right, so what I have here is Can you see the embossing in this one? Let me see. You can see down here there's some embossing behind. Anyway, this is our first card. All right, let's put that here. Let me see, I'll switch it over. How about that? Let's put that right over here. So we have all the parts and pieces. This is 8.5 by 5.5. We have a piece of the gingham, which is 2 by 5.25. We have the Peaceful Pine ribbon. We have 3 pieces of the Bloom Boutique designer paper. This is the back side, but we're using the Peaceful Pine. And these are 2 inches by 5, no. This is the designer paper. Let me find it on my list here. I don't see my written down. Oh, here we go. 3 pieces. So these are 3 inches by 1 inch. You need 3 pieces of 3 inches by 1 inch. Goodness, I could not find that in my list here I'm looking at. You need a scrap that is of white, which is like a 1/2 inch. Maybe I didn't write this one down. Let me see. Yep, 1/2 inch by 3.5. I have a piece of white. So lots of layers here. All of these layers will be in the kit if you do the purchase, if you get the kit. So this is 3.25 by 3.5. Crisp Cantaloupe is 3.75 by 3.5. Hang on a second here. I gotta turn, it's still too loud on that. Oh my gosh, hang on. There we go. Goodness. Okay. All right, so we got the cantaloupe. Next we have a piece of basic white, and here you can see this beautiful embossing. This is 4 by 5.25, and then there will also be another 4 by 5.25 for the inside. Okay, that's all the parts and pieces. And so what we're going to do is I have scrap paper. There will be scrap paper too in your kit to do the stamping. So let's move this over here out of the way. Let's do our stamping first. Let me grab this. And we're going to be using Peaceful Pine and Crisp Cantaloupe for this particular card. So the first thing is, now these are the magnetic pads. Our in colors have the magnetic, the new magnetic casing, and the new the felt pads. So all right, so I've got a mix of ink pads here is all I'm getting at. So first thing we're going to do, like I said, we're going to stamp our sentiment and get the stamping. This sentiment says, "Thinking of you today." Just tap that into your ink pad. And let's see, that I need to come like right in the middle because I need this to go behind the butterfly. So about right there. Okay, did I get it straight? I think so. And then they're magnetic, so yeah, it's sticking to the other one really well. Okay, now we need the cantaloupe, and we're going to stamp our butterflies in the cantaloupe, and I've got some scrap paper over here. The nice thing about the All A Flutter stamp set is that the butterflies are all one piece, okay? And then by taking it and stamping it on your cardstock, it lines up perfectly with the punch, okay? So inking that up really good. Just going to come down here to the bottom. Well, actually, I think I'll go this way. That way I can use the other side. So let's do this. This is one of the butterfly stamps. This one does not give the outside detail. It's just kind of the solid stamps. All right, let's do that, and let's do that, and I like to clean my stamps as I go. How about you guys? Do you guys clean as you go when you're stamping? Hi Lynn, welcome. All right, so I'm gonna just take my stamped piece here. I'm gonna kind of angle that to follow that Y. And then let's grab our punch. And if you are new to watching me do the different stamping, I hope I went up high enough. Our punches are nice because you hold them with 2 hands and you close it, and then you slide this up and that holds them shut, and they're great for storing. When you're ready to use it, you hold on to it, slide that down, and there you go. Using the punch upside down, that's how it matches. Okay, I'm really close. I should have came up sliver higher. So I want to get this in here, and so when I use this punch, I make sure that I'm lined up first, and then I kind of put a little pressure on so that I'm holding it in place before I punch. Now I can see that I'm a little off there, there, and there. I gotta concentrate, sorry about that. Okay, there we go. All right, got it. And then push down and it punches out all 3 pieces at the same time. Okay, so we've got, see, I barely made it. I barely made it. I have to stamp a little higher for the next one. Okay, here's what we got. So now we're ready to put everything together. That's what I like to do. When I'm creating, I like to do my stamping and all the things, then start putting things together. One of the things I learned years ago when I first started stamping is that you always put your layers together, smallest to the biggest. Smallest to biggest, okay? So that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna start here with our pieces. We need the white and the cantaloupe. We're going to start there. So I have the 3 pieces of designer paper. I want to make sure that I have this the right way. So I don't want it this way. I want the longer piece. I want it longer left to right instead of up and down. Okay? All right. So small. Get my adhesive here. Small basic white. Small onto this one. And one of the reasons that I learned to do smallest to largest is because sometimes you have ribbon that goes around the smaller pieces. If you start putting all the layers together, you might have missed one of those that you should have done. So, excuse me, I've seen it happen many times in my classes. So I'm going to lay these out to see how they need to go on here. And I'm just going to measure so that I have kind of equal parts in the white. And so we'll start with we'll leave these right here where they are. Then we'll start with this middle piece. Okay. And get that right in the middle. Kind of shoved that one over, didn't I? Okay, there we go. All right, so there we go. Now, once you get one, then the other ones will go on pretty easy because then you know that you've got kind of equal parts there. Okay, there, and last designer paper. And there we go. Just like that. All right. The next thing we need is our Peaceful Pine ribbon. That's going to come around and it's going to go towards the top of my layers. Well, hello, Bobby. Hi, Shar. Welcome. Thanks for being here, you guys. So I'm just going to tie a knot. And it doesn't really matter where I tie this because it can slide around. So once it's tied, I can still slide this around. Okay, so it's kind of in the middle. I want it over to the left a little bit, so I'm going to shift that. And when you do that, if you bend your cardstock a little bit, it moves pretty easily. Alrighty. Okay, so there's that. Let me get my ribbon scissors. I don't have those over here with me, but they're right next to me over here. They're not with my supplies on my desk here. So let's cut that. Alright, there we go. And hi, Taryn. Okay, so we've got that layer done. Next, we're ready to put the other layers together. So now we've got that layer. We'll put the butterflies on and the sentiment after we get the other layers. So inside layer, let's go ahead and this is going to go this way. Let's go ahead and stamp something on the inside. How about some more crisp cantaloupe, and there is this fun little stamp in here. Actually, let's do this. Let's take this scrap paper and put it here, and then let's ink up our butterflies again. But we're not going to stamp all of them, okay? Let's go in here and how about let's come up here and let's just stamp 2 of the butterflies. Kind of like that. Oh, I didn't ink it up very good, I don't think. Oh well. There we go. We just have some butterflies up in the corner. Just to have something on the inside of our card. Whoa. Alright. Clean that again. And close this up before I get in trouble. Excuse me. Now let's put this on the inside of our card. So if you're just joining, welcome. Thanks for being here. I appreciate you guys commenting. This is going to go on the inside. And let's see here. Get this straight. Here we go. Alright, so that's the front. So next we need to do this beautiful layer. This is our Lazy Daisy embossing folder. So I'm just going to be careful in putting on my adhesive, because sometimes if I go too fast, it will rip my adhesive. So, alright, so that's going to get you a nice little layer around green around there. Then we've got this gingham. I love this gingham paper, and it coordinates beautifully because it's the in colors. So I think it goes well together. So we've got this side and we have the bold side, and I thought I'd go with the little softer side because of the pattern that we have in our designer paper. So that's just kind of going to go, it's not, I guess it's kind of in the middle, maybe a sliver more of the white at the bottom. Did I get that straight? I think it's straight. Alrighty, there we go. And everything is flat so far. So now we're ready to add the next layer. Okay. And let's see, I think I'm going to come down a little bit there. And it's over to the left a little more than to the in the middle. So I'm going to come over to the left. Just like that. Okay. And then let's grab some dimensionals here to pop up these butterflies. I've got my mini dimensionals here, which work good on the smaller butterflies. Grab this one and put a dimensional there, and put a dimensional there. We're going to do the big dimensional. Let's go ahead with this. Grab our Thinking of You Today. I want that to come off onto the gingham just a little bit, just like that. And well, let's put this down first, Barb. I was going to put my butterfly down, but then this wouldn't be sticking, right? I'm just going to kind of eyeball it here. I want this to come off a little, I think. There we go. Think about right there. Okay. And then, oops, got our butterfly over here. Right there. We have the medium butterfly kind of down here. And then our little butterfly is going to be kind of off the edge up here at the top. Just like, let's come off the edge here. There we go. Just like that. There's card number 1. So pretty. So pretty in person. All right, so card number 1, there we are. All right, next we have this beautiful Hydrangea Hue. This is our next card. And let me grab all the parts and pieces and I'll give you the measurements here. Let's put these out of the way and grab what I need next. Fluttery by to say hi. We need the solid and we need the outline butterfly. Okay? Can you guys see what I did here? Can you see that? So this isn't punched out. Thanks guys, thank you. Yes, this bundle and the paper are so pretty together. All right, so here's what we've got. We have Hydrangea Hue is our star of the show here, and all of our parts and pieces is 8.5 by 5.5, folded to 4 1/4. Okay. Then you have a die, a 2.5-inch square from the Stylish Shaped dies. I also have a white Stylish Shaped die, which is 2 by 2. Then we have this piece of white is 5 by 3.5 for the inside. We have a piece of this gorgeous Hydrangea Hue gingham. You got the large and the small print. And this is 4 by 5 1/4. Then you have 2 pieces of this gorgeous boutique, bloom boutique. I believe that's what it's called. Let me see here. Let me see what the back of it says. It's Bloom Boutique. I was correct. Okay. And these pieces are 2.5 by 2.5. Okay. And of course we've got the matching ribbon. Okie doke. So what we're going to do is let's go ahead and get our stamping done. And that is just on here. Now, what I'm going to tell you is we've got the Hydrangea Hue. We're going to maneuver our stamps. I guess that's the best way to say it. Okay. For me, the best thing to do is to ink up the outline first and then stamp the solid inside. So I like to do the outline part first. So, all right, now you can see that, let's bring this up here. We have one butterfly, okay? That butterfly is the middle butterfly, I believe. Yep, it's the middle butterfly. So here's what you do. See how there's a gap? And can you see the gaps in between? So we're just going to take this middle butterfly. We're going to go to the corner of the pad. See how I've got the butterfly? You're just going to ink up one butterfly. Whoops, I think I got blue on the other one. I wasn't paying attention. Let's try that again because I wasn't, I was looking to make sure that I was in the camera. And all right, we're going to try that again. All right, let's get this right like that. There we go. Now I'm only one butterfly. There we are. Okay. Can you see that just one is inked up there? That's what we want. Okay. I'm going to go back in and make sure the top part of my butterfly is inked up good. Okay, there we go. We're going to take this and we're going to do an angle. Let's see here. I think about about right there. Okay. And we have one butterfly. Okay. Now we got to do the same thing with the solid. Got a frog in my throat here, guys. Excuse me. All right, I'm going to use a different corner. Okay, so we need the middle butterfly, so let's just go in the middle. We're going to ink this up completely. Okay, this is the tricky part, because to me, these pads are so juicy. All right, oops, got that. I'm going to wipe it. I'm not going to clean the whole thing. Okay, all right, I'm going to stamp it off because I want it to be light, and so let's stamp that onto our butterfly. Oh, beautiful. Can you see that? Fabulous. And then the last thing we have to do is stamp our sentiment right above our butterfly. Well, again, we're using the hydrangea for the sentiment also. And that's just going to come right up in the top of the square. Let's see. There we go. Just like that. So pretty. I really, really like the in colors this time. Better than last time, I'll be honest. So, and then let me clean this one. All right. What's your favorite, tell me what your favorite in color is, you guys. Have you been using any of them? Which one is your favorite? Okay, get the stamps there. Let's layer this on because there's no ribbon on the back of this one. And that's just gonna, that's all square, so we're just gonna put that right in the square. Beautiful. And then let's go ahead and put our pieces together for the inside of our card. Here. And that just goes kind of like that. Making sure I got about the same on both sides. Beautiful. And again, I went with the softer of the gingham just because. Oh shoot, I forgot to start recording this. Doggone it. Okay, we're gonna hit record. So I just hit record, and I don't know if I can add the other ones in. Ugh. Oh well. Here I think I have it all together. You know, just when you think you got your act all together, you don't. Pooty poo. Oh well. We'll get it figured out. Okay. So we're going to put that here. Next thing we're going to do, we're going to take these beautiful squares. They look so pretty on this paper. Isn't that gorgeous? It's just so, you know, sometimes Hydrangea Hur is Maria's favorite. Sometimes you don't realize that, you know, you really can mix your medias. You don't have to have, you know, solids and that kind of thing. But flowers and ginghams, they're looking pretty nice. All right, so this one's going to go about right there. And I'm kind of lining it up in, can you see the blue on the outside right here? There's a little bit of blue that looks like it's framed. Looks awesome. Looks like I have paper behind. I'm going to have to grab a drink here. All right, then I'm going to come up here and I'm going to do the same thing. I'm just going to go inside, kind of inside that. Though the gingham really makes it look like you have blue around the edges, doesn't it, you guys? Okay, so there's that. Let me grab a drink of water here. Ugh. Okay, so there's that. Now we're ready to put this together. And I'm going to, let's see, I'm going to grab my glue. And how to make a fake bow is you just make a loop and you make a loop, okay? And you just make it look like a bow. You just work work with it until you get it how you want. I want a bigger loop over here, like that. And what I want is I want this to be nice and pretty over here. And I got quite a bit, but this works. Okay, so that's gonna go kind of in the middle there. I'm gonna pull this down a sliver and pull this flat. There we go. Okay, so that's really what I'm looking for. Now, if you want, you could actually take some tape, which I have right over here, and I'm going to hold this with my pinky and tape this down because my square is going to cover it, but it holds my pretty bow in place that I've already got, right? Okay. Let's take some dimensionals and we're going to pop this up and we're going to pop that in the center here, okay? Oh, it's so pretty. All right. That's my little ones. Grab some dimensionals. And I need 4. So let's see. I'm trying not to get them right on the ribbon. So let's see. We're going to go here, here. Oops, I went off. Oh, that was a really long piece. Okay. There we go. And let's do one here and one here. That should hold it on pretty well. That way the ribbon is kind of in between the dimensionals and the dimensionals will stick better. All right. Okay. All right. So pretty. This blue is just gorgeous. All right, there we go, just like that. And last but not least, I'm going to be using the 2628 in color dots that are kind of shimmery and pretty. And we are going to put one on the butterfly. Alrighty. I'm going to use the small blue one since that's what I've got here. So there we go. It's just going to go right in the center just to give it a little extra shine. And that is card number 2. Okay. I don't have another kit cut out yet to do the number 1 card at the end of this. So I might have to record a separate for number 1 card. I don't know. Darn. It's recording now though. Okay, so there is card number 2. Isn't that pretty? So pretty. Okay. I'm going to do something to see if this, I'm going to go back to my face and see if you can see this better by, if I do this. And let's just see if you can see the card better. Sorry, I'm getting out of the way there. Sometimes they look better when you can see them this way. The lighting, there you go, a little bit. So pretty. Okay, back down to the hands. Okay, card number 2 is done. Okay, card number 3. This one is a little bit of a different fold. Hi, Jenny. You like this one? You like the 2 DSPs together? I do too. I was super happy just kind of putting them together, and I thought, I really like this. So here is our Hydrangea Hue card. Not Hydrangea Hue, excuse me, Golden Glow. Now, what we have here is we have a kind of a fun fold. So we're going to start out with 4 1/4 by 11. Let me make sure this is 4 1/4. I don't know why it looks wide, but nope, 4 1/4. 4 1/4 by 11, and we're going to do some cutting on this piece in just a moment. It's scored at 5 1/2. Then you have a couple things. You have a vanilla die cut from the Scalloped Blooms. You have another piece of vanilla that is 2.5 by 5.25. You have a piece of the designer paper that is 2.5 by 5.25. That's the other side of this one. It's got the pretty gold in there. We have a couple pieces of the gingham. Now this one we're going to use because we are going to stamp on this and punch out some butterflies. Then you have two strips that are 5.25 by 1/2 inch. Okay? Alright, so that's what we've got as far as our pieces go. Now we've got some cutting to do. So what do I need? I need this piece right here. I'm going to take these and put them over here out of the way. And get your cutter out. We need the cutting tool. Okay. So let me lay this over to the side. I don't know if you'll be able to see it for a minute, but what we're going to do is we're going to take this piece of the card base, and you may have seen this already, but what we're going to do is we're going to cut this at 3/4 of an inch. So I'm going to start up here. I'm just gonna, this is the front, but you can flip it too if it doesn't work. So here's the front, and so what we're gonna do, we need to cut this at 3/4 of an inch. So on my, what do you call this, girls? Our cutting tool, cut and score. Anyway, we're gonna go to 3/4 of an inch. So I'm going to go over to 3/4 of an inch, and I've got my score down here. So I'm going to take my dark piece, which is your cutting, and I'm going to come down to the score line. So I'm just going to slice right up to the score line, and I'm looking at my line right here on my cutter, my whatever you want to call it, slicer, and I have cut up to the score. Okay? Going to do the same thing on this side. I'm going to go over here and go to 3/4 of an inch. And since I'm already at the score line, I'm just going to lay my cutter down because I'm already at the score line, and I'm just going to slice all the way down. Now I have two weird flippy pieces, right? Okay, so let's put the cutter out of the way. The next thing you're going to do is you're going to glue these down, okay? Just glue them right down. So let's do that. And just lay it down and glue that piece. I need to change that blade, that's for sure. Jeez, oh Pete. All right, let's glue this one down. To the edge there. We're going to glue this down. Just like that. I'm going to take my little sanding block here, and by the way, Stampin' Up! Is coming back with our old sanding block that we had like years ago, but these are fabulous. But what that does is it just takes my little furry pieces off from my blade needing to be changed. Okay? I should have done that before I glued these down, but let me get this right here. And get this side. Okay. Okay, there we go. Next, we have these fantastic little strips over here of the gingham. I am going to go with the larger gingham on this one. And let's see here. Those are going to go right here inside. I'm going to bring my sticky mat. Goodness, that's the first time I've called it a sticky mat. Hang on here. Get that out of the way. My silicone mat, that's what it's called. Okay, let's get this, and we're going to glue this down. I want it this way. And And let's see, about right there. It's about equal. That side. And let's do this side. Okay. Right here. Okay, got that. Okay. Got those on the side. Okay. Now we have our beautiful vanilla. And we are going to stamp one of the butterflies in here. And I'm going to use one of the thicker butterflies that we used on the last one with Hydrangea Hur. We're going to just stamp one of the butterflies here. I think I'm just going to stamp the top butterfly right there. So I'm just going to ink that up without inking up the other ones. Come on, Barbie. There we go. And let's stamp that right here. Beautiful. Let's see. We will need this hydrangea in a minute again. So let me put that to the side. Clean this one. And have these little fun little butterflies. And let's glue this down on the inside. Bobby says, love that card. You mean the blue one that we just did, Bobby? I know, the colors are so pretty. So this is going to go on the inside of your flap. Okay. Next, we have our designer paper. We can go ahead and put that on the front here. Just like so. I don't, and let's see. Yeah, I guess this does have a right and wrong. Some of them are just non-directional. This one is not. This one is directional. So make sure that you have it the right way when you add it to the front. So match that up here and here, just like that. Got a fuzz piece here, or a piece that's random. Come off. There we go. All right, so there's that. That's what we got. Next, we can go ahead with the ribbon, and we can adjust it as we put our sentiment on there in just a moment. So yeah, this is just tying a knot. So let's do this. Tie that knot. Okay. I didn't do that one as pretty as the other one, did I? So, you know, it's crazy to me that I tie all this. It seems like I tie the same all the time, and sometimes they turn out super pretty and sometimes they don't, and I don't know why, but that looks better. Okay, let me cut this off here. Shorten that up. Okay, just like so. All right. All right, we'll slide this where we need it to go in a few minutes. So we still have stamping to do. So we need this one. I used black ink, so whatever one you choose, whether it's the hybrid or you're still using the Memento, whatever works for you. Okay, I'm going to do it this way so I know that I've got them inked up really well. It's easier for me to see if I ink it up this way. And it looks like they're inked up really good. So let's go ahead. And I'm just gonna, oh wait, do I want it on the little or the big? I think I did it on the little side. So let's go ahead and we're gonna just stamp that right into onto the designer paper. And then you just have your butterflies are automatically gonna coordinate with your project. I don't know if I did the big side. I think it's the little side. Yeah, or I can't tell if it's the big side or little side that I stamped this on. Whichever one you want, you go for it. pretty sure it's the little one when I look at my butterflies. Okay, so that's going to go there. Let's get our punch. And now you can see that this piece is a little bit smaller. Do you guys know the trick? What you do is I know that you have scrap paper. Here, I've got some scrap paper. So what you can do is you can take your scrap paper, put a little bit of adhesive on it. You take it and you adhere it to what you're going to be punching. Now you have an extra hand, okay? So then you can hold on to it. You can shift this around. Now I want to show you, I went a little too high because see how it's not lining up? It's not quite, it's too high. This is too high for me here. So what I got to do is I just need to cut some of this off. And then this will go all the way in. That's all I need. Okay, so let me get this lined up. I got to look at it to me. It's hard to keep it in the, if I try to do it where you guys can see what I'm doing, I can't quite line it up the way I want. Okay, there we go. All right, I got it lined up, and there we go. And that is how you maximize your papers. Especially if you're using designer paper to do this kind of thing. All right, so we got these. So we're gonna, don't they look great? They do, they look pretty. All right, let's stamp our sentiment. And this is a long sentiment and, excuse me, but I wanted it to fit onto this piece here. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna do, tape off some of the sentiment. So let's grab that handy dandy tape again, and I'm gonna stamp you are, let's cover up you are. All right, let's see here, you are. So we're gonna tape that off so that we don't get ink on that. So you are right there. Alrighty, just gonna tape that off so no black ink gets on there. And let's ink that up. I'm sure you guys have seen this technique before. The biggest key, alright, you're gonna ink this up. But you need to take this off before you stamp, or you'll get goober black on your project, which you do not want. Okay, I need to get that out of the vicinity here. So appreciated is going to go on the bottom here, and that's going to go like right there, just like that. I don't know, I might have it crooked a little bit. Now I'm going to wash this off, and we're going to stamp you are. Now this one actually is spaced really well, that you could do kind of what we did with the butterflies. I could go in here and I can just ink up you are, just like that. Okay, and so appreciated is not inked. So let's see, we're gonna come right here. Yeah, just like that. You are so appreciated. Okay. Let's clean this off. I thought you meant the blue card, Bobby. I just looked up at the comments, so I thought you meant the blue one. All right, so next we need that hydrangea hue again, and we're just going to add some. Put this here. We're going to add some of those little tiny butterflies that are in the stamp set right here. And let's go onto the scrap, because you can see that there's only 2 over here. So let's go ahead, oh Barb, let's go ahead and ink up 2 of those. Oh, look at how well I did. I can't believe it. I'm going to stamp 2 of the butterflies. it's a little more, are going to go like right there. I got a little on the edge, but it'll be all right. Let's go ahead and ink up one more here. Now I'm going to stamp this so that, well, I'm going to clean it first. And then I'm going to ink up the bottom one again. Alright, let's try this. I'm just going to ink up. I'm going to bring this closer to me. I just want the one butterfly inked up. I'm going to bring that over right there. Okay. And then let's go ahead and ink up the little one. I don't know if it'll fit though on this card. Maybe right there. I'm still going to ink up this little teeny tiny one at the very top. And we'll stamp it right here. Beautiful. Got it. Okay. Let's move this out of the way. Clean this off so I don't forget that it still needs to be washed. And I don't know if I washed this off or not, but we're going to do it again. If I did. You guys ever do that? Did I wash that stamp? I don't know. Sometimes they're stained and it's harder to remember if I did. Okay, let's put everything together. All the stamping is done. So this is, like I said, this is gonna go over top of the bow. So let's move the bow over. I want this so that my words are showing, but look, it's off the edge a little bit and my bow can come over onto the open space that we have going on there. So just remember, no, you got to make sure that you don't get adhesive past where this is going to open. So I just need dimensionals after these two humps. So let's turn it over, get some dimensionals here after the two humps. So we're going to go above and below the ribbon. And let me see, I'm going to grab a little piece right here. Okay. Let's get this down. Just like that. And bring this up under here so that, oh wait, let's see, am I down low enough? Maybe, I think I'm going to go up a little bit higher before I stick down the sentiment. Let's go up a little bit higher. There we go. All right. There we are. Just like so. Okay, let's add these butterflies. All of them are popped up in the sample. So let's grab some more dimensionals here. Did I use all? Oh, here. All right, I got this one piece left. We'll put that on the big one. And then let's just use up some of the mini dimensionals. One there and there. Here. Actually, these little mini dimensionals are perfect for these butterflies. Alright, so we're going to go with this, the little butterfly here and the medium butterfly next to that one. Or no, I want the medium one down at the bottom. Just like that, and then the larger one right here. So pretty. Okay, and then last but not least, those in colored dots. They're so shimmery. Excuse me. Tool, where did you go? Take the pick tool. Alright, So we've got the large one here. I think I'll just come right there, and then the small one, we'll just bring it right there. Just like so. La! And there is card number 3. So pretty. I always tell you guys, it does not do justice in this camera. Okay. And we have card number 4. Now this one, I just think it's so pretty. So what we have is the Barely Blush mixed with some Pool Party. Look how pretty that is. That, and I use the Lazy Daisy folder here. Now, Pool Party, I chose Pool Party because if you have this paper and you look at these leaves right here, that looks like Pool Party, Pool Party, Pool Party, and then you've got the darker green, okay? So that's why I chose Pool Party for this one. So let's grab all of our parts and pieces here. All right, we have our Barely Blush, which is our base, 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4. Thanks, guys. I'm glad you're liking the cards. Thank you. Then we have some of the Barely Blush ribbon. We have 2 pieces of white, our 3 1/4 by 5. We have a piece of basic black, which is 3 3/8 by 5 1/8. We have a stylish shaped die circle, and I think this one is 2.5 inch. This one's the 2.5 inch. And then our little pieces are let's see, I believe 1.5. You need 3 pieces that are 1.5 inches, and these are the ones that they'll be in your kit, and they'll be already embossed for you. I know, I love it. I think it's so pretty too, Maria. I wanted to pick this butterfly up stamped on the paper. And same thing for the designer paper. This is the blue side, this is the shimmer or the gold side. Same thing, 1.5 by 1.5, and you need 3 of those, okay? So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to do the stamping on the circle. The part that is always scary, right? Especially when you're doing it on a die cut, unless you do that first. But we're live TV, so it's going to be what it's going to be. Now this one we are using, let's see, we're using, we're going back to the one that we did at the beginning. Excuse me one more time. I don't know what is going on. Haven't coughed all day long, and I get up here talking and yeah, then I get the whatever. So we're gonna take the outline, and then there is let me find this here. Okay, so see this full one right here. We're gonna stamp the outline, and then we're gonna stamp this over top of it. Instead of a solid color, we're gonna stamp this one. And so we're going to use black, and let me grab that. And let's do this so I can see that it's inked up all the way. Okay. Alrighty. So let's get this and make sure, try to get, all of the butterflies will fit on this circle, okay? So, let's see, there we go. So there's the outline, just like that. And then we're going to use Barely Blush to stamp the insides. It almost looks like you've used blends, but you didn't use the blends. Okay, so Barely Blush, that is our very light color. we'll use that black again in a moment. Okay, there's that. There. We'll lay that here. Okay, let's go ahead and ink this up. And because it's such a light color, we are not stamping off. We are just inking it right up. And then you just have to match it up the best that you can. And that's why I like doing the dark first, because then I can see right where, whoops, I got off on this one, but that's okay. It's not too bad. Not too bad. Anyway, it just gives you a nice variation of colors in those wings because of the design that's in that stamp. All right, let's see, I've got stamped on the inside here. I've got the little butterflies stamped on the inside of this one, so let's grab one of these pieces of paper and clean this off. And throw this back in here. We need this, we need this. And my little butterflies again, right here. Okay. And I need to barely blush again, right here. Okie dokie. Alright, and so what I did is I just came in with those line of butterflies, and I stamped, let me do it like this. I think I stamped a full line there and a full line here. Sorry if my head gets in the way. There we go. And then I just inked it up, and I just came up and I only stamped a couple of the butterflies kind of next to it, and then down here stamp that. Just giving you something pretty on the inside. All right. Fabulous, fabulous, fabulous. All right. I do have some more designs that I've done, and I'll be doing just YouTube videos that I'll be uploading those as some other designs. Okay, friend is what we want here, and so let's put that aside for a momento. Here, bring that back in here. Friend. And that fits really well right in here in this little open space. Right there. Okay. And then we've got the little curlicues going on. I'm gonna ink this one up, and we're gonna come down the page here with that one. Now, this one only has a little bit, so what I need to do is I need to wash this off and only ink a tiny bit. So, or you could mask off the butterfly if you wanted to, but I think it's okay. I'm just going to guess on how much I need, and I don't need much. So maybe like just a tiny bit. And we're just going to do that right there. Just a little curlicue coming off of the top one. And I don't even know if we can do a curlicue coming off of that one. It's down too far on the bottom. So there we go. And it's all going to depend on how far, like, if that's why I wanted to stamp my word first, so I knew how much space I would have right here. So just keep that in mind. If you did the curlicues first, it would come down to where your word is going to be. Put it that way, I guess. All right, so there's that. I think I did that. I don't know if I cleaned these hearts. Okay, I think I got all my stamps done, and we're ready to put our card together. Okay. This is the inside. Let's go ahead and put that down. So that's going to go, oops, I need to come up here a little more. There we go. Just like that. Okay. On the front, let's put these layers. So we're going to put the white onto the black. And it's just 1/8 of an inch, so you just have that nice little edge of black around the white, just like that. Then we're going to take these pieces. I have a pool party here, and here, and here. And this one, I don't believe that there is this is non-directional, so just going to kind of eyeball what I need going on here. So I always like to get an idea of my spacing before I start slamming down with adhesive. That's just me. Okay, that looks pretty good, right? Okay, so let's pull one off and go for it, right? Okay, so there's that one. And let's come over here, measure it out, Barbie. There we go. All right, let's do the top one. Listen, if you're not that precise, it's not a big deal, so do it however works for you. I just this is my method. This is my method. So there we go. That one's up too high. I guess it's all right. Okay, now this one goes here, and I can see what kind of spacing I got going on, just like so. By the way, I know I have lots of demonstrators on here. Have you guys looked at the digital catalog? What do you think? Anything really stick out to you in the catalog? I wish so much they would have better religious Christmas stamps, but we only got one coming. So it is what it is, I guess. All right, there's that. And one more. But this is such a pretty, this looks so pretty together. This pool party and this Barely Blush. Okay. Same kind of thing. We are going to do a fun, use our ribbon behind our sentiment image. We're going to take this. This is going to go in the center, and it's not, of course you can see it's not completely square, so you have less on the sides and more on the top and bottom, okay, if you put it right in the middle. Okie dokie, let's see here. Too many things like in the new one catalog. Yeah, yep, a lot of times that happens to us, doesn't it? All right, so this one, I want to make sure that it kind of goes into the pool party area, like that. So, let's do that. And I always forget to get a piece of tape beforehand. And let's do that. All right. We're going to cut that a little bit. Okay, so that's going to go there. It's going to be hidden by my circle here, and that's going to go in the middle. I feel like I need a little bit longer. Well, I guess if I cut this piece, it's going to be longer. Duh. I needed my adhesive. Or my dimensionals rather, not my adhesive. I'm going to cut the sides of this, these pieces, since I don't have regular size here at the moment. So let's see here. I want to do here, here. It's gonna go like that. So one there. I'm just trying to avoid the ribbon. That's what I'm doing, girls. Avoiding the ribbon. Okay. So let's get these. Okay. Let's get that in the middle the best we can with our friend. Beautiful. Just like that. Actually, I don't think I have to cut anything. So there's that. And then we're going to put two of these really pretty pink, the Barely Blush gems on here. Because you've got this kind of big opening there. And then, I mean, you could certainly put it on the other pieces or here, but I like it right there. So there we go. All right. So that is card number 4. And again, I hope that you will recreate these at home. If you would like the kit, the only way to get the kit is to purchase $50 with me this week by next Sunday. I'll send you the kit in the mail. All right, let's grab all of our cards that we did. I don't know what to think about this one that I didn't get recorded. Makes me sad. So, all right, let's do this. Let's move this out of the way so you can get a snapshot if you want. Thank you, Nancy. Thank you, Sue. I appreciate that. So here's that one. Actually, I think I might already have a, I don't know if I have a, but anyway, that was card number 1. Okay. And card number 2. Card number 3, I think I can come up a little higher. There we go. Card number 4. How's that? See if we can get all of them in there. There you go. There are the cards for this evening. And hopefully, which one is your favorite? Tell me which one is your favorite. I don't know. I love, love, love. All the in colors look so pretty. And I don't know. I think number 4 or number 2 is my favorite. The blue or the right-hand side. So I don't know which one I like better. Which one is your favorite? Tell me which one. Thank you for the hearts. Thank you. Thanks, Taryn. I'm glad you like them. You like them all? Oh, gosh. Yeah. So pretty. I do love them. Yeah. Well, hopefully you can get a good snapshot there and take a picture. And if that way you can go back and recreate. I'm going to have to do a separate video in the green, the first one. So that would have to be Golden Glow, Lynn says. Maria says all are pretty but 4. So yeah, this color combination is really pretty. I know, it's so good. The 4th one is your favorite, Taryn. You like fun folds? All right, let's go ahead. I'm going to pop up to my face and we will say good evening. But thank you for being here. Thank you for commenting. Thank you for just spending an hour with me this evening. I hope that you'll enjoy making these cards on your own. And if there's any questions I can answer for you, just let me know. There are links in the description for several things, so read those. All right. Okay, you guys, I'm going to go ahead and say goodnight and thank you for being here. You guys have a wonderful week and watch for those YouTube uploads, okay? Thanks so much. Blessings. Bye-bye.